The state of Georgia has proposed a timeline for the criminal trial against former President Donald Trump, with a trial date in late February 2024. The proposal also includes a September 2023 arraignment and evidence-sharing deadlines. However, this timeline could be impacted by other ongoing criminal cases against Trump. Special counsel Jack Smith is seeking a trial in January on charges that Trump obstructed the transfer of presidential power, which could potentially overlap with the Georgia trial. Trump has requested that his criminal cases be postponed until after the 2024 election, but judges have so far dismissed these attempts. Trump is also facing several civil lawsuits that are scheduled to go to trial in the next 6 months. Judges have largely rejected Trump's concerns about the potential impact on his political calendar and his potential absence from the campaign trail. In a separate issue, Twitter attorneys have revealed that Trump's Twitter accounts sent direct messages that prosecutors are working to obtain. The search warrant commanded Twitter to produce a range of data associated with Trump's account, including accounts associated with @real Donald Trump, devices and IP addresses used to log into the account, privacy settings and history, all tweets and direct messages, and location information. A significant part of the legal battle is focused on prosecutors' demand that Twitter not notify Trump about the search warrant. Twitter has raised concerns that the data being sought may be covered by executive privilege, a claim that has been met with skepticism by both prosecutors and the judge. Prosecutors insist that they have evidence that disclosing the search warrant to Trump could jeopardize their investigation. A federal appeals court has ruled to restrict access to the abortion pill mifepristone, stating that the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, did not follow the correct process when it eased regulations in 2016. The court found that the FDA's decision to allow the drug to be taken later in pregnancy, mailed directly to patients, and prescribed by professionals other than doctors was unlawful. The Justice Department plans to appeal this decision to the Supreme Court. The ruling was made by a 3-judge panel of the conservative U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit. However, mifepristone will remain available under existing regulations while the litigation continues, following a Supreme Court order earlier this year. If the Supreme Court upholds the appeal court's ruling, the pill will still be available in the U.S., but it will be harder for patients to access. The challenge to mifepristone was brought by the Alliance for Hippocratic Medicine, an association of anti-abortion doctors and others. They claimed that the FDA did not sufficiently consider safety concerns when it approved the drug in 2000 or when it removed some restrictions later on. The challengers argued that the abortion pill should never have been approved and should be removed entirely from the market. The Justice Department and the drug manufacturer Danco Laboratories have emphasized the FDA's reliance on numerous studies involving thousands of patients to approve the medication, which has been used by over 5 million women. Lawyers defending the drug argued that the anti-abortion challengers had no legal right to file the lawsuit as they were not directly harmed by the FDA's approval of the abortion pill. The ruling also stated that the generic version of the medication should be subject to the same 2016 conditions as mifepristone. The Supreme Court put the appeal court decision on hold while the litigation continues. The decision could significantly impact how women access the abortion pill in the U.S., particularly the potential restriction of the medication to the first 7 weeks of pregnancy. The Justice Department stated it would ask the Supreme Court to hear the case, and the court is expected to act in the coming months. Dr. Rachel Levine, the highest-ranking openly transgender federal official in the U.S., has praised an Alaska gender-affirming care clinic, Identity Alaska, for its efforts to provide medical care to the LGBTQIA2S+ community. The clinic advocates for a more inclusive approach to language and education, including replacing the word mother with egg producer or carrier, and teaching children that gender is assigned at birth rather than inherent. It also recommends using biological terms for body parts and replacing gender reveal parties with embryogenesis parties, or chromosome reveal parties. Dr. Levine, who transitioned later in life after having children, supports gender-affirming care for minors, describing it as life-saving and evidence-based. She has previously stated that the Biden administration strongly supports this type of care. Despite criticism suggesting that early transition could deprive young people of experiences she herself had prior to transitioning, Dr. Levine argues that it should be easier for teenagers to begin treatment, even if it might impact their ability to have biological children in the future. She also emphasized the importance of supportive adults in the lives of transgender youth and stated that no medical procedures are performed on prepubertal children, though puberty blockers may be given prior to the onset of puberty. A Texas woman, Abigail Jo Shree, has been arrested and charged with threatening to kill a federal judge and a member of Congress. She is accused of leaving a threatening message at the federal courthouse in Washington, using a racist term for U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan, who is overseeing a case against former President Donald Trump. The threat was traced back to Shree's phone number and she later admitted to making the call. The threats against Judge Chutkan were related to the ongoing case against Trump, with Shree allegedly stating that the judge was in our sights, and that they intended to kill her if Trump was not elected in 2024. Shree also reportedly threatened to kill U.S. Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, a Texas Democrat who is currently running for mayor of Houston. Shree has been ordered to be detained by a judge earlier this week. She is represented by the Houston Public Defender's Office, which has not yet commented on the case. Judge Chutkan, a former assistant public defender nominated by President Barack Obama, has been publicly criticized by Trump, who has referred to her as highly partisan and very biased and unfair, due to her comments in a separate case related to the sentencing of a defendant involved in the January 6, 2021, Capitol riot. In a recent hearing, Judge Chutkan imposed a protective order limiting what evidence can be publicly disclosed by Trump and his legal team, advising them to mount the defense in the courtroom rather than on the internet. President Biden faced criticism on social media after he claimed to have witnessed a bridge collapse in Pittsburgh in 2022. The comment was made during a speech at Indictment, a wind turbine generator manufacturer in Milwaukee, where Biden was promoting his economic policies. His claim was met with skepticism and derision online, with many asserting that Biden was not present at the time of the collapse. The video of his comments subsequently went viral on X, formerly known as Twitter. Critics included former congressional candidate David Giglio, Washington Examiner secrets columnist Paul Bedard, Battleground podcast host Sean Parnell, Outkick broadcaster Dan Dakich, and viral conservative personality Sonny McSunnyface. PGA Tour golfer Hunter Mahan and Future's Edge podcast host Jim Iorio also criticized the president's comments.